Hello YouTube again, GZTV here, back with another video. This is the last video of the night. We are going to be talking about Dexter. We're going to be talking about the second episode, and second episodes in series are sometimes the biggest episodes because we see kind of how the series can live up to the hype of the original episode. It's like a sequel to the movie. Obviously on a larger scale of hype because you know you're going to get episodes every week or so. But you get me. We're going to get through the plot, and then we are going to get to the reception. That's how we do all our reviews. We kind of discuss it, So Deborah visits Dexter to talk about the ice truck killer case. So now they kind of opened this thing. It's kind of official now. This guy in this ice truck is a serial killer. They know it. He threw a head out of the car. Afterwards, Dexter examines the Barbie doll the killer left in his apartment and realizes the hands have differently painted fingernails. So, of course, this is further confirmation that this is the same guy that's been fucking with the police and, murdering people and trying to kind of toy with Dexter at this point. After giving evidence at a trial, he enters another courtroom where Matt Chambers, played by Sam Trammell, is being tried for manslaughter after drunkenly running over a teenager with his car. He was drunk. He ran over a teenager. So at this point, Dexter's like, he could have been the serial killer, but we're not really sure yet. Because he did that out of a mistake. He didn't intentionally kill a kid. I don't know. So yeah, it's kind of a weird territory there. So Dexter travels to a crime scene under the westbound causeway where he notices a piece of human flesh in the victim's mouth. Maybe the serial killer forced him to eat it. I mean, you can't really say that the guy was like a cannibal or anything. Yeah, I really like this show, by the way. I mean, the idea of a crime mystery series and a guy that's there in your inner circle investigating a crime is a serial killer himself. Weird. There's a lot of irony in being a blood splatter expert as a serial killer. So at the station, Deborah tells Dexter about her new boyfriend, Sean. We know Deborah. She's a pretty fine-looking gal, so obviously she's been getting into a lot of relationships, and she kind of discusses this with Dexter, trying to rub it in his face and make him look like a social reject, which to an extent he is, but he still has a girlfriend, so I think Dexter's doing something. So they make plans to have a lunch date along with Dexter's girlfriend Rita to kind of bond. Rita and him are kind of socially anxious, so they kind of need to get out of the house a little bit. The causeway victim is discovered to be a police officer named Ricky Simmons, so kind of some friendly fire. This serial killer. He is a serial killer at this point. He is going after guys close to Dexter, and he's trying to get in his head. He knows this. So LaGuerta and Dokes go to his home where they find his wife Kara injured but alive. So obviously now they know that the killer kind of went to his house and maybe sliced his wife up a couple times, gave her a few slashes, and she's still surviving. While analyzing the scene, Dexter finds a drop of blood that is not hers, so this could be a big development, whether it's the serial killer self-inflicting himself with a wound and getting in the crime scene. That would be huge. That would be a mistake, and Dexter's kind of grinning. He's kind of grinning to his freaking eyes at this point because he's like, oh my goodness, this guy made a big mistake. He left some evidence on the scene, maybe unintentionally. Dexter tells Rita about the lunch date. Deborah calls to tell Dexter she has found a refrigerated truck with human fingertips inside, which have fingernails painted like the doll's. Well, I don't know what I was talking about. I kind of confused my plot points there. The fingerprint thing happened after the doll, so maybe the killer was maybe foreshadowing what was to come. So the bitten off skin from Simmons' mouth is linked to Norberto Cervantes, who is apprehended by Dokes after Cervantes meets with drug lord Carlos Guerrero. So this Cervantes guy kind of becomes a main suspect because his skin was found at the scene. It is very weird. I don't know. I think maybe it's a coincidence. Maybe I don't know what the hell happened. So under questioning, Cervantes claims Kara was having an affair. Dokes punched him. Dokes punches him. Dokes takes his fury out, kind of like Hank Schrader in Breaking Bad. I don't know why I make a lot of references to Breaking Bad, and I compare a lot of shows to Breaking Bad, even though this show came out a year or two before Breaking Bad. He had a Hank Schrader on Jesse Pinkman moment. And I mean, I compare Better Call Saul to Breaking Bad, but obviously they're in the same universe, so there's definitely going to be some comparisons. LaGuarte takes a blood sample from Cervantes to confirm the skin and blood was his. So this is really interesting. We're getting really confused here. Meanwhile, Chambers testifies that his car was stolen hours before the teenager's death and that he has been sober for several months. So, he lied. Maybe he didn't run over this kid. Maybe he killed him in a different way, and maybe this is something they're going to start developing on him. So Dexter and Detective Angel Batista find more of Cervantes' blood at Kara's home. They kind of do a further inspection of the home to make sure there's nothing that they missed or whatnot. Dexter obtains Chambers' fingerprints and discovers that he has killed people while driving drunk in other states. He is a drunk driving serial killer, which is definitely an interesting dynamic to say the least. So he's done this multiple times, and that's really interesting. He prepares his kill room before going on the double date. Chambers, presumably going to be his victim here. When Rita notices the apparent ease of Deborah and Sean's relationship, she starts to feel insecure, and Dexter's difficulty comforting her. She's like, why can't we have this smooth of a relationship? Why can't we not be awkward in our relationship? She kind of grows jealous of Deborah and Sean. Cervantes is killed in jail by a man impersonating a police officer. I don't know if this was a plan by the police station, but yeah, this episode is pretty crazy. Later, Rita and Dexter agree not to have sex until Rita is ready. Let's chill out for a little bit. Rita is not comfortable, and she's kind of ashamed that she's not comfortable, but Dexter kind of understands. When it comes to people that are close to him, he is a serial killer, but again, when it comes to people that are close to him, he is very, very, sympathetic, So Deborah learns she's being promoted to homicide, all because obviously Dexter set her up to get some success in some cases. Props to him, of course. But obviously, she pays some respects to him, but it's not like, oh my god, you saved my life damn near. So LaGuardia informs Dokes that Kara has died of heart failure and forces him to admit that they were sleeping together, agreeing to keep the relationship secret so Dokes can remain on the case. He doesn't want to reveal that he had relations with her and he was had an affair with her because he could honestly be brought up as a suspect in doing so, and he doesn't want to make that mistake. He knows he didn't do it, he knows he didn't kill them, but obviously the court doesn't give a fuck what you have to say. It's the connections, it's the little things they find that will lock you up forever. Dexter sees Guerrero and contemplates killing him, but decides against it. He kidnaps Chambers, forces him to confess, then kills him and disposes of the bodies. I don't know how he disposes of the bodies. Maybe that's something we're going to learn throughout the show. That's something I've been interested in for a while. I was like, how do they get these bodies stowed away? At home, he finds evidence that the ice truck killer has broken into his apartment for a second time. Will he tell anyone about it? Probably not. Mixed to positive reviews, much appraisal. The opening sequence, 7.8 out of 10 on IGN. It was not as tightly constructed as the pilot Crocodile, still was solid, and Michael C. Hall's performance as Dexter continues to be a wonderful one, definitely portraying all of the aspects of his complicated, to say the least, man who has some unbelievable darkness hiding underneath his friendly exterior. And kudos to the excellent opening credit sequence, which consists of shots of Dexter going about several mundane activities that are made unsettling due to our knowledge that he's a serial killer. Very, very positive reviews generally. 2 episodes in, really can't say anything bad about this show. Wonderful show. You shouldn't feel satisfied after watching a show about this subject matter, but you do, and that's because done well. Fair enough. The opening sequence was very slick. Some people criticize this episode. The episode, Dexter goes on a double date, eats some donuts, and kills some more people. Meanwhile, the writers go batshit insane and rattle through 1,000,001 ideas at once. Maybe there's a little much going on in this episode, but I don't think that's to the detriment of the episode. The writing was nominated for an Edgar Award. But yeah, that's going to do it. Have a good rest of your guys' night. I'm going to be streaming here momentarily. Once I get my Wi-Fi figured out, expect a stream at 10 o'clock.